like to give a big shout out to our sponsors at Combat Vet CBD. Combat Vet CBD is not only for veterans, it's for you too. Their CBD and Delta 8 products are high quality, full spectrum, and cheaper than all of their competitors. If not, they will match anyone's prices. CBD is all natural and better than pharmaceutical alternatives. Say no to narcotics that make you into a zombie and say yes to Combat Vet CBD. Go to combatvetcbd.com and use the word CULT. That's CULT, CULT, at checkout and save 30% on all products. Hello and welcome to the show. This is the Cult of Conspiracy, and my name's Jonathan.
I'm Jacob.
And today we have a very special guest, Spectre Exploration. How's your day going on, my good sir?
Pretty good. Had a long day. Prepared for this.
Good things, bro.
Hell yeah, dude. We love preparation. And so, especially whenever we're talking about the subject that we're going to be talking about. And, hey, you caught my attention whenever you started talking about ghosts, demons, fucking UFOs. That's right up our alley.
Yeah, man.
That is right up our alley. And for anybody that doesn't really know what our logo looks like, you can clearly see there are UFOs above our shit.
Fully review the reading thing.
Are they government controlled? I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're spiritual entities. It's possible. One thing I will say though is that I always try to keep an open mind with these kind of things.
Yeah.
Because I've never personally experienced a ghost. I'm actually upset that I never experienced a ghost.
Really?
I'm sure I would shit my pants like whenever the time came, but if I ever witnessed that, I would be so stoked, no matter how scary it is. Yeah, I'm just weird like that.
Okay.
Dude. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, certain people get thrills from scary shit. Hey, who's to say that the ghost or entity would necessarily be scary, right? Not according to the myth, the lore, the legend of these entities, whether you believe in them or not. Apparently, there seems to be good and bad ones, right?
I've heard mainly bad ones, and not necessarily bad as in they're going to haunt your soul.
You talking about ghosties, or you talking about demons?
No, ghosts.
Oh, see, I keep hearing because of like TV and movies and the indoctrination we always see, right?
Yeah. Well,
you hear it's like a dead grandma, and she's like there to guide you,
and then she's gonna suck your fucking soul out.
No, Moana, the grandma came back to help her. That's my point. It's like being brainwashed at an early age that ghosts and things are not always bad. They could be good.
Casper and whatnot. Yeah.
See, there you go.
But I guess the reason why I say that they're probably lower dimensional entities because that is like some low vibe shit. What I've heard before is whenever we're talking about ghosts, I know we're not going to be talking about ghosts this whole damn time.
No.
But as far as what I've heard about ghosts is that they're really just trapped in there. Like they haven't gone up or down. They're just staying in this fucking gray space.
Who's to say? My guy, tell us your things.
What do you think about ghosts?
Well, with all the experiences I've had, I don't believe they're actually the people that they portray themselves to be. I think they might be some other spirit pretending to be that person because, they potentially have seen that person in that area.
Yep.
And they know that they recently died. I can't say that for certain, but with all the experiences I've had, I believe that's what they are.
Dude, all right. Well, I guess this brings me to another question.
Shapeshifters, bro.
Okay, well, they're shapeshifters, but I'm talking about so we've heard, there are literally thousands of accounts of this, of whenever people getting ready to die, at their deathbed, they'll start to see their loved ones that have also passed on, and they're there to welcome them to the other side.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. I personally haven't read any reports of that. I've always heard reports of the angel of death.
Okay, like the Grim Reaper?
Kind of like.
Okay.
I've heard.
Supposedly the Grim Reaper's not a bad guy. He just seems like it because he got a shit job.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Nobody wants to see him, so he is seen as this negative thing. Like, yo, I personally like the fact that somebody's there to escort me to the other side, so I'm not alone in the dark. That's kind of fucking nice to me.
Yeah, that's heartfelt.
You know? Oh, so he has a scythe. Yo, I like weapons. That shit's pretty dope. I bet he's probably a solid guy. I bet he's cool to talk to. All he does is talk to people for a good walk, you know?
Makes you wonder why he has that fucking tool then.
It's because he's here to harvest your soul. A scythe is a traditional farm harvesting
that
tool.
Swing blade looking thing.
That's how they used to like cut grass.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, I mean, hey, dude, I love all this ghostly shit, but I really want to get into some of your experiences that you've had because you sent us some messages talking about your UFO experiences or demons. Are we talking about the same thing when we're talking about UFOs and demons, in your opinion?
Yeah, for the most part.
Really? All right. So you think that they're kind of like just portraying themselves like whenever we see a spaceship or some strange lights in the sky appear, that's not aliens, that's actually demons? I've heard this before. Yeah.
With the UFOs, I'm not exactly sure what they are. They could be completely military aerial vehicles. I'm not really sure. They could be really anything. But if we can't get to space, and that's a possibility, how could they get back down to here? They could be interdimensional. They could be really anything.
Okay, that's another good point that you bring up. And Jonathan, you with your newfound love of the fucking flying saucer that you believe Earth is.
Give it to me.
If you think that space is something that we can't get to, then what the fuck are aliens, bro, that you have proclaimed multiple times that you believe that there are life from other planets? Does you being a flat earther now mean that you don't believe in life outside of our fucking, as you would call it, firmament?
Yeah, I still believe in aliens.
Okay.
I'm still there.
So
I do go
them.
back and forth, and I put a fair amount of thought into this.
Oh, please do.
So whenever you're looking at that firmament model of the flat Earth, right? It even has a couple little slots in there, like entrances to the heavens or whatever, right?
Well, I thought there is no
that comes around, and that comes around like every so often. And that's actually my theory. If NASA truly has ever been to the moon, to Mars, they're sending it out a window of sorts, some kind of opening.
There's no fucking way we can have a window because the entire purpose of the firmament is to protect us from out there, whatever out there may be. So if we have a fucking door to it, then it negates every single argument to it being this, even biblically speaking, even whatever, being what it's supposed to be.
Look at it like this. You've seen Hunger Games before, right?
Yeah.
With Katniss and all that.
Yeah. What the fuck?
All right. So whenever they're in the arena, in the fucking dome, they can get little shit dropped off to them if they're really needing the help from their sponsors. So they can get like that little plug-in thing that you plug into the tree and get water.
That's a bad example because their game in that dome is also on a globe with gravity that works, right?
No.
Yes, gravity works in Hunger Games. It's not in space. It's on Earth.
No, I'm not saying that that's in space. I'm saying I'm just trying to give you the visual. You know what I'm saying? I think that there's probably a way for things to come in and out. I would imagine if I'm God, and I'm trying to send some fucking angels, maybe there needs to be an opening. I don't know how it works. I'm just throwing out some hypotheses.
Okay, so just so we're clear, and I'm not trying to make the episode about that. I'm just making sure that we're clear on this. You are a flat earther.
Yeah.
Who believes that the firmament is a thing, that the conspiracy style firmament, not the biblical firmament, that's obviously just, the atmosphere. But anyway, that is real.
You should have told God that whenever he was telling old boy to write this shit down then. How about that?
I wish I was there. I wish it would have been a part of the meeting.
God only thought about the next 100 years. He wasn't planning on the next couple K. Is that all it was?
Okay.
The fuck out of here.
Fair enough. But you also still believe that there are extraterrestrial life forces in our dimension. Let me ask you that. Because we can talk about interdimensional beings all day. Do you believe there is still another planet out there or another whatever it could be that we don't know about out there sustaining some sort of life in our dimension?
So whenever we talk about aliens, what are they called? I'm
saying extraterrestrial.
They're called extraterrestrial.
And by definition, that's why I said that. I'm
extra
talking
land,
life outside of our Earth. I wanted to give that.
Our Earth as we know it, or our Earth like as we may not know it.
I know what you mean, but that didn't sound good. I knew what you were talking about.
Okay.
Okay, hold on.
I'm saying the Earth that we're aware of, or are you
Oh
talking
my
about the
God.
actual Earth?
Oh my God, we're gonna have to get this down to the nitty gritty to get you to admit one way or another on this. Okay, we're gonna get that specific, bro. Then let's get that specific.
Okay.
Per the model of your flat Earth or my sphere Earth.
Ah.
Okay, do you believe that outside of that there is life existing in our dimension that we may or may not know about?
Our dimension meaning the physical realm?
Yes,
Is that what you
physical
mean?
realm. Strictly
Okay.
physical. We're not talking spiritual. I'm not necessarily saying carbon-based life forms, but some sort of actual physical entity out there existing in our dimension.
I would say
outside of our little ball or
yes,
sphere.
I would say it's possible.
Okay, I'll acknowledge.
That's what I can say about that.
Okay.
I don't say yes or no because I don't know. Like I experienced a UFO, like 10 years ago.
I'm not asking your thought about its plausibility. I'm saying, do you believe so? Do you believe that there's something out there? It's possible.
I hope there is.
Okay, excellent. Moving on.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
making
dude,
sure.
whenever it's just here's my thing whenever people talk about aliens and people talk about, certain aliens from certain constellations, like the Pleiadians, I get down with that. I vibe with that shit. And so because I think that, that there's probably so many reasons why there would be stars or at least lights. I don't know, dude. It's all so contradicting everything that I believe, and that's what makes it so hard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because all right, so if there is a I'm not 100% sold on the firmament, by the way.
Okay.
I'm flat Earth all the way, but firmament, I'm like, I got to figure that one out.
So you believe in flat Earth, but you may not understand all of how it works yet.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I've seen what I need to see to convince me.
You're such a cult member on this one.
I'm
sorry.
Keep that third eye open, baby.
No, this is not an eye opener. I'm sorry. Anyway, moving on back to our guest here. Hi. Sorry. We didn't mean to go off on that tangent, but that's how we get down.
He hates talking about flat Earth. So, all right, I want to hear give the cult members your first ever experience spiritually. Well, I mean, we'll just call it spiritually. Maybe it's demonic, maybe it's ghostly, maybe it's UFO-ly. What was the first thing that you experienced that was totally different than what you thought reality was?
So I want to say I was around 6, maybe. I think it was right around when I got into like preschool, maybe kindergarten or something. I'm not exactly sure. But my grandmother on my dad's side, her name was Alberta Lament. She was in the hospital and she ended up dying at some point. They punctured her lung. And I was staying at my grandfather's and I went to sleep. He would always leave the oven running to heat up the house because the pipes were broke or something.
Yankee things,
And I
man.
had
You
a
gotta have the
dream.
oven on to heat the house up. Legit.
Oh shit, yeah, dude. It's
Yeah.
gas, Sometimes the fucking
She,
electric ain't gonna work.
Gotta have that old school furnace, that old burler.
Yeah, dude.
You don't even say it like that. That's not a Yankee up there. It says burl. It's always boil.
I've never even heard of that word until I
crawfish
moved to
burrow?
Louisiana. Yeah, that's so stupid.
Anyway, go ahead.
So I end up falling asleep, and I can actually remember the dream still. She was talking to me and whatever, and then she walked up to the stove and she touched it, and it was like it burned her, and she just disappeared.
Do you feel like
No,
you recognized who this person was, or is this like a?
Yeah. This was shortly after she passed away. It was like maybe a week or two.
Oh wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. You said you were about 6 years old, and you saw this now, and this was not that long after she died. Like, what was your immediate reaction? Did you immediately like want to go up and hug her? Like, how did she appear? Was she like a light body? Did it seem like a real body? What was that like?
I could see through her. So it was like kind of like a projection almost.
Really?
Wow.
And as far as nothing seemed weird to me at the time. Just seemed like it was her, and we're having a good time or whatever.
Would you say, just out of my own curiosity, I've had dreams that whenever I wake up, they seem so real that I'll go on a few more weeks and maybe a couple more months after that, still remembering it, but I'm almost remembering it as fact. Have you ever done that?
Yeah.
You're like, yo, I've seen this before.
Deja vu.
It's a little bit of deja vu. Are you 100% certain that this was not in a dream, that you were awake for this?
It was definitely a dream. I know it was a dream. I fell asleep and I had the dream, but every time someone close to me passes away, I have weird experiences, like they're around me or something.
You just sense their energy around you then.
Yeah.
I mean, that's also pretty. I don't know. I guess I haven't had one of my family members die in a good bit, but I think that's also a thing too. It's like your body's getting used to them not being here, and it's like an adjustment period. Their essence is still there. Their perfume is still in the air in certain areas of the house, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Nothing dies
Yeah.
in the ether. That's just my that's
Agreed.
like my point of view.
Agreed.
Like, I don't know what's on the other side. We only have so many senses.
Exactly.
There could be like a dead stripper just riding your face right now and you wouldn't
What
even
the
know it. I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking.
If that's what's happening, then you're welcome, I guess. Because I mean, I wouldn't know the difference. Hope they're having a good one.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know if it works in that dimension, but
I don't know.
I hear the physical dimension is the most fun dimension.
I've heard that from the Canadian channeler.
Yeah.
Is that what he goes by? Canadian
Canadian awareness.
Canadian awareness. That's
Anthony.
It.
Yeah.
And he says the physical realm is the more fun one to be in, but the other realms are the more
Free.
More free and more all knowledge happening at the same time kind of thing.
Right. No time. It's just everything happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I think that there's so much that our brains can't even fathom to understand.
Agreed.
And understanding the scientific reason for any of this shit. You know what I can't stand? Whenever people say, "Oh, well, that's just in your head," and whenever you're happy, you're not really that happy. It's just chemicals that are firing off in your body. I'm like, okay, that's going on too, but
right. Yes, correct. That's what's happening in my mind, but there's also other things that are happening because of that. There's other things that happen to cause that, right? And there's chain reactions happening at all times, whether you want to be a part of that or not.
Right, and that can be influence, I'm sure,
Absolutely.
but it's not to say that, like, I think that, we're spiritual beings, bro, and I think that, whenever there's a truly, like, deeply happy smile on your face, that is legit touching your soul. That's not just some fucking chemicals that are coursing through your body to give you some kind of euphoric feeling. And so, anyway, I say that because I go here is that as far as our ethereal bodies go, man, I just wonder. I just have so many wonders about it, just in general, So whenever you're talking about, you see her and she's not invisible, she's see-through. I mean, did you get the vibe that it was like her? Like, did it? You know what I'm saying? You walk into a room, like, let's say you walk into a room where your mom's at. And you're like, all right, yeah, I don't even need to see, and I know my mom's in here. You get that feeling sometimes? Yeah. I wonder, did you have that same feeling whenever you saw her? Like, you knew it was her even before you saw her?
Yeah, I knew it was her, and I thought it was kind of strange. And then, as soon as I woke up, I wanted to run down and see if she was there.
Dude. Man, I've had some just super wild dreams in my day. Like, you ever wake up from a dream and you just wake up bawling, crying?
I've only had night terrors a handful of times.
I'm not even saying night terrors, bro. I'm just saying something like horrific happened. All right, so I had this dream that my mom died, right? And dude, I remember I was working offshore, so I couldn't even call her because I had no service. And so I was sleeping on the top bunk offshore, and fucking I had this fucking dream that like my mom died and I was there. Like I was fucking holding her hand. It seemed so real, dude.
Yeah.
That I literally woke up and I was boohoo crying like from the dream.
I get it.
Dude, some of that shit is just so intense.
If I had dreams, I might be able to relate.
Do you remember any one dream?
I have a little collection of dreams that I can remember across my entire life. That's about it. Those are like those core memory type dreams. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
But other than that, not really.
Okay, so now I want to go on to your UFO experiences.
Alrighty. I have quite a bit. The first one that I can remember, this was actually the next experience that I had overall throughout my life. I want to say I was probably 8, and we would always just have the TV on, watching stuff in my mom's room. I want to say it was probably like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was watching this documentary. I remember it vaguely. It was about the Loch Ness Monster and Aleister Crowley. And I ended
Wait,
up
that
falling asleep
documentary
to
was
that.
about both of them?
Yeah, because Aleister Crowley actually owned the house that's on Loch Ness. So it was about
No
both of
way.
them.
Whoa, I didn't know
he was
that.
there. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Aleister Crowley owned the house that was off of by
like,
Loch Ness.
Loch Ness is a massive,
Yeah.
massive fucking lake. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
there's tons of castles on it.
They said that he summoned Loch Ness. I don't know if I believe that, but
I wouldn't doubt it, to be honest, bro.
if he was attempting to summon Nessie, I hope he succeeded because that'd be pretty sick.
That would be pretty sick. I don't know. Some people say that that's just whales' penises. You've heard that one?
It was a well, okay, you know, we could do a Nessie episode, by the way.
I think we tried one time, and then we were like, yo, this is not real.
Yeah, it was an elephant because there was a circus in town around the time that picture was taken, the famous Nessie picture.
Yeah.
And like all the crazy stories about like, well, if it was in a prehistoric ice age, that landmass would have been underwater, and when the ice melted and the waters came, right, this one animal, this family of animals happened to be stuck in this lake, and they've just been here ever since. And like, no, they wouldn't have survived the ice age, and they would have killed all the fish in the pond by now, or they've been hunted to extinction, or like, no way, they couldn't sustain them.
Maybe it has a cloaking device and it's been here the whole time.
And then when we get to cryptids, whenever we get to they could bend light and hide themselves, it's like, okay.
Maybe, but there's no way to prove that.
I'm not saying that doesn't exist. I'm saying that every single cryptid can't have the same technology. We gotta pick and choose here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I agree that Sasquatches can have that, I can't agree that Nessie has that. They're not even in the same genome. You know what I mean? If that's like a genetic thing, then could it be like a cryptid mammal type thing, or is there a whole separate subreddit of animal kingdom that I'm just unaware of?
You're talking about cryptid shit, that of which we know nothing scientifically about.
Okay, fair, but like Sam Squanch, for instance, you would say it would be in the primate family, give or take a little bit. Maybe it's the missing link, maybe it's somewhere up there, but you could generally assume that it is a mammal and that it is in that basic family grouping.
I don't understand the difference between like a Bigfoot and a giant. Wouldn't that be the same thing?
No, because a giant would be a humanoid. It would be more like a Homo erectus giantus, if we're going to be Latin about it.
Right, but wouldn't that just be like a fucking, like the barbaric version of that? Wouldn't that just be Bigfoot?
No, because those were, like when you get into the, and again, this is going off of a Darwinistic approach to human evolution, which I don't agree with.
Darwin. You know, he actually fucking,
he recanted
whenever he
all of
died.
it.
Yeah, he recanted everything.
On his deathbed, he's like, yo, none of this was real. Like, it was just, it was a theory that I had, and I drew some conclusions, but no.
And he proved it wrong.
He basically said there's no way we came from monkeys. Because if that was the case, why do we still have monkeys? That's always been my argument against it. Yeah. Now, I believe in evolution to the sense of, you know, adapting to your climate and adapting to your you know what I'm saying? Why are sub-Saharan Africans have black skin? Why do northern tribes of North America have different facial features. You know what I'm saying?
Why
Like
do lizards change colors whenever they're sitting on their land?
Exactly. That's evolution as a sense of adaptation. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm there with that. Yeah,
There's no way that a group of chimps found some mushrooms one day, became enlightened, and then holy shit, couple generations down the road, couple million years, we have humans.
You know what fucks me up is this whole thing. Like we still think like we are very well. Like I don't know about everybody, but like the Earth has been here for a long ass fucking time, dude.
Yeah.
And people have been here for a long ass fucking time too.
Give or take 6,000 years, or depending on what your belief system is and what you believe in carbon dating. But yeah,
6,000. You think that's it?
No, I believe it's been a lot longer than that. I believe that written human history goes back to about 4,000 BC, give or take.
Available written history,
right? Arguably to like 5,000 BC, and that's like we're getting into some really treacherous territory on what we can actually prove as far as human existence.
I mean, the Egyptian shit goes back even farther than that, right?
No.
How far does that go?
Well, okay,
that was before Jesus and all that.
I'll give you an example. A friend of mine was just doing an excavation in Orlando, Florida. Okay. They found a site that they're doing some construction work or whatever, and they found all this old artifacts. Come to find out, this goes back like 11,000 years.
Well, that's still pretty fucking long.
Right. Yeah. But they didn't have any written history. We know that there was like a civilization there. They had like clay pottery. They have arrowheads. They have human remains. They have animal remains. They have name the stuff. They've got it.
Yeah.
My point is though, at least 11,000 years humans have been doing their thing on Earth.
Let's just say that it is 11,000 years since people have been here. Okay. Yeah. Let's just say that. I don't think that that's the case, but let's just go with that as a starting point.
Right. Sure.
Why are we still considered in fucking the year 2023?
Because there was a magic baby that was born.
Can we just change that shit? Because that's stupid.
There was a magic baby born in Bethlehem, and they decided to make the calendar start off of his birthday, give or take.
Magic babies. I mean, did the people in,
That was super blasphemous, by the way. For all the cult members listening, y'all know I'm a Christian. Y'all know my heart. Y'all also know my humor. Don't fucking crucify me.
I mean, did the people from 1 BC say that was the year? They said, what year is it? It's 1 BC this year.
I have often wondered that. Like, Romans that were living there at that time, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're like 25, circa the year 1 AD,
yeah.
What did you go off of? But I think they also judged their calendar years based off of the dynasty or off of the emperor or off of, it was the year of our Lord so-and-so, so you knew it was within his reign.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's possible. I want to get back on demons because we've gone far off of that track. I'm so sorry about that. Okay. So you were explaining your demon experience, or your first one at least. UFO, I'm sorry.
So I woke up after watching that. I fell asleep at some point. I woke up and it sounded like nothing. It was just like completely silent. I couldn't even hear the TV, and it was right beside me. But I look out and I see, what they show UFOs to actually look like a flying saucer spinning. It looked like it was spinning really slow. It had lights all around it, but it was making so much noise that it was silent. I don't know how to explain it. Like if you hear big machinery going and it's just so loud that you can't hear anything, that's what it was like. And I live in the woods and there's animals and stuff all the time that you hear. I couldn't hear anything. Damn. And I watched it for a little bit, just stay in one spot. It wasn't moving. It was just sitting right above the trees behind the house. And then I watched it for a bit and laid back down because I was afraid aliens were going to come get me. I don't know what happened after that, if they just flew off or what. So I ended up falling back asleep.
How old were you for this?
Around 8 years old.
Oh, shit. Getting started early with that one.
And so you were awake for this one. This wasn't a dream.
Yeah, this was not a dream. I woke up, looked out the window, and watched it for probably maybe 10 minutes. And it just stayed in one spot. The lights were so bright, it completely lit up the field, and you could see the grass like waving back and forth because there's a field on that side.
And you
and
said
the
it sounded
trees
like
were
what
the
now?
leaves were flying everywhere.
Sound like
Like
machinery.
big machinery, just like a white noise machine or something.
Did you
Or
go
like a
and
TV.
whenever all this was going down, did you go and like tell your like maybe your parents or your siblings or anything like that?
No, I don't have any siblings. I didn't tell anyone because I didn't think anyone would believe me because I grew up in like a Protestant area. Like my grandfather's Protestant. He lives right beside me and we went to a Protestant church. So I didn't think anyone would believe me. And I was just scared of
Wait,
it.
hold on,
So,
back up. Why wouldn't Protestants believe you?
so
And also, what do you mean by Protestant? There's like a million different types of those. Do you mean like Baptist? Do you mean like Lutheran? Do you mean like
so they call it the First Church of God. They don't really believe in that you can see demons or ghosts or UFOs aren't real or like anything like that. Like they just say it's all bullshit basically.
got you?
Yes, I know these people. I know people like this.
Yeah.
And it's possible. I don't think it is because there's just been so
No.
many. Dude, you know how many people
There's no way that that's possible. There's no way that that's possible. That there's not some shit going on that we can't explain. No way.
I know
No,
that
they're
for
saying
100% fact that's not true.
Right.
But I knew they wouldn't believe me.
I'm with you.
well, they're saying that it's just not visible, right? Isn't that what's going on?
No, he's saying this religious group believes that doesn't exist. It's just your mind playing tricks on you.
Yeah, basically.
But you have to have faith in something that you can't see.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
They're
Makes no
fucking
goddamn
psychopaths,
sense.
man.
Yeah.
No way.
That makes no sense. How do you believe in one thing? I know people that believe in God. They're like, oh, dude, there's no way aliens
No.
could exist. I'm just like,
Bro, look, see, people misquote faith, blessed is he who believes without seeing, right? And they'll take that to mean you just got to believe, man. You just got
How do they believe the Bible if they don't believe any of that stuff's real?
Right.
If they don't believe demons are real, ghosts are real.
And that's the
anything.
deal. I am a Christian, and I also know that, like, bruh, yes, yeah, blessed is he who believes without seeing, but you also have to look at the context. Who is he talking to? Just gonna say
there's
that.
kind of a big deal, a big downfall to a lot of religion that I've seen anyway. It's that it's almost like very traditional and very cultural. That's what the beliefs are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I believe what my dad believed, and I believe what my grandparents believed.
That's a fair point, because religion does typically, not always, but typically get passed down hereditarily, at least in some degree, right?
yeah, I mean that's usually how it happens. People are, born Catholic.
And I mean, sure, as a person becomes an adult, they find their own way, they make their own judgment calls, and their own beliefs are what they are. But either way, it's you go with that, they influence those around them because of it. So yeah, religion is definitely a cultural thing, for sure.
Yes.
So with all that being said, with the UFO, so I live right up from Lake Racetown, and that was made by the Army Corps of Engineers.
I was going to ask you if you have any military bases around your area.
Yeah. So I've always heard this. Now I can't prove it or anything, but there's supposedly an underwater base underneath the lake. And I've seen a ton of aerial vehicles around here. So it could possibly be related to that. I can go more into my UFO stories.
Yeah, absolutely.
Experiences.
I just wanted to say, as far as all of the UFO things, how they could possibly be some kind of government ran. And where I come up with that is that there's actually an organization that is paid for with tax dollars out there, that it literally is designed for fake UFO abductions.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this like a while
back.
We
have. We brought them up.
Yeah.
Not NAFTA.
I can't remember what the acronym is.
The National Association for Unexplained Aerial Phenomenon or something like that. But basically, they're the Men in Black.
Yeah.
The fucking Men in Black.
Exactly.
And yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, so I think that, maybe some UFO sightings are just that. But here comes into question. A lot of people are nowadays seeing not really the spaceships or the spacecrafts or aliens or anything like that anymore. What a lot of people have been reporting is that they see like these crazy like orbs in the sky.
Yeah. See, that's the deal. Back in the day in the 50s, 60s, Roswell time frame, right? If you would have told me that you saw some sort of crazy looking plane that you didn't know what it was, some sort of unexplained aerial vehicle,
Yeah.
you would call it in. Okay, if you said that there was a military base near you, is it possible that they were test flying some new style of plane that they're working on? Okay, now that could be explained, and I'm not saying all of them are bullshit, but I'm saying at least some of that. Okay, maybe it's a government test. Maybe they're just trying some shit out, and it doesn't look like something you've seen before because no one's seen this before. Could be. That being said, the aerial phenomenon that's been going on these days, ever since that pilot, you remember the pilot I was telling you about that went on Rogan and said that now that they have the new radar systems, they are able to see all these things flying around that no one can explain. No country can take care of.
Navy pilot or some shit.
Naval pilots are coming out with this now. It's like, yo, they've been here for forever. We couldn't see them until now. And they are doing maneuvers that is impossible by any known laws of aviation. There's no way that these things are out there, but we see them and we know they're there.
Anti-gravity type shit.
Right.
Yeah, dude. And whenever I talk about aliens and stuff, I guess that's really where I lean. I honestly don't believe in little green men, little
oh, I do.
The tall whites and the short grays or whatever the fuck they're called.
I believe they come in all kinds of crazy shapes and colors.
I think they're just like, maybe they can manifest themselves into that. I'm going to keep that window open.
Maybe they're ethereal.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I think that, like, their souls have figured out other ways of maneuvering.
Perhaps they look just like us, except they're pale blue.
That'd be tight.
Who knows?
I would love a little mixed blue kid.
Maybe instead of a carbon-based life form, maybe they're a phosphorus-based life form. And we couldn't even touch them because their shit would like be toxic to us. Who knows?
It's possible. But I've heard Ryan Bledsoe, the Bledsoe family, that whole deal where he talks about the orbs that are in his fucking backyard, dude.
Yeah.
They're in his backyard and he can literally call them in. He calls them in and he has all these videos on Instagram and he's just like, thank you for your blessings and shit like that. And I'm just like, oh my
blessings.
God. Yeah, something along those lines.
Is this dude forming a religion around the floating lights in his backyard?
I would join it if he was.
Actually, all right, after I say that out loud, if my neighbor had some legitimate floating lights in their backyard that they could call forth whenever they want.
Yeah.
Okay. I might start listening to whatever the fuck the floating orb starts saying.
Absolutely.
That's pretty wild.
I'll listen to, what the hell's her name from,
I'm not saying I'll agree with it. If it's some wild shit like go and kill everyone, then nah, fuck the orbs. They're bad guys. I'm just saying, I'd at least pay attention.
The Good Witch. What was the Good Witch's name?
What?
From The Wizard of Oz. Glenda.
Oh, Glenda.
Glenda, yeah. What if it was like Glenda coming down and being like, yo, Jacob, you need to fucking calm it down a little bit, bro.
All right. If Glenda or something like Glenda came into my backyard and was like, Jacob, we need to talk. Yeah, you have my undivided fucking attention.
Absolutely. You're floating in a bubble. Like
I'm not saying that I'm going to agree with whatever you're going to say or do what you're about to ask, but you have my undivided attention.
And so I bring that up, and I also want to bring up how it correlates with, have you looked into Dr. Stephen Greer? He does like, I think it's called like Theories of the Fourth Kind or something like that.
Why do I know this name? We've had him on?
No. I want him on. That'd be awesome.
Oh, that'd be sick.
But anyway, he's found a way of certain meditation, like group meditation of sorts, and they take pictures the whole time. The pictures are being taken. Like they're having picture and video of them taken while they're in this group meditation because they're picking up literally like what seems to be like some spirits or energy surrounding them, dude. And it's so nuts.
Question. Are these pictures being taken in a very dimly lit room, possibly candles?
No.
Okay.
No, it's outside.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would be very interested to see those pictures.
Yeah, I'll show you the documentary.
No doubt.
I can't remember if it's Theories of the Fourth. It's something of the fourth kind. I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, Dr. Stephen Greer. If you know that name, then you know what I'm talking about. So damn, man. Like, I just don't know what to think about aliens, dude. I don't.
So what other experiences you got with it, bro?
So when I was in high school, I was probably 14, maybe 15. I was down at a friend's right down the road from me. And he pointed up and he said to look. So I looked up, and speaking of orbs, I seen this big orange light. At first I just thought it was a star because it was real early in the morning. I thought it was one of the last stars in the sky, but eventually I saw it moving very slowly. It looked humongous, and then I've had a lot of experiences with those lights. Um, when I went to college, my mom's boyfriend at the time, he came in and he was telling my mom to come out and look because she wouldn't believe him or whatever. And she ran out, and then I end up running out, and there's these two big orange orbs. They're like orangish yellow, like a big ball of light, like plasma or something.
Mm.
And they're just floating right beside each other. They're probably, I want to say, if you went straight across the mountain, it'd be about a quarter of a mile away from us. And they looked about as wide as a bus, in each direction. So they
Okay.
were very, very big. And the last one that I seen was, I want to say 2018. My grandmother went to the hospital, and we're coming back, and we're down by Lake Racetown, right down the road from me. And I looked up, it was nighttime, and I saw this. It looked like a jet fighter, a fighter jet going right over top of us, but it was about half the size of a car. So it was too small to be a fighter jet.
Yeah.
Some people said it was probably a drone.
Could have been. I can see that.
But I've never seen a drone quite that big, but it's a possibility.
Well,
I don't think it was.
They wouldn't have had
silent.
a drone fly that low, and they also don't have them that look like fighter jets. I mean, do you remember what color it was?
It looked like it was like a grayish black.
And this was around, you said you were in high school, so what year was this?
I was in college for that one. It was like 2018. So about 5 years ago.
I mean, usually
it's possible.
And that's the thing with those drones, dude, and that's why a lot of people know the difference between a drone and a possible UFO sighting.
Bro.
Is that usually anytime you hear or see, or not hear, but whenever you see a UFO in the sky, there is no sound. And as a matter of fact,
oh yes, there is.
It has been said before. Well, maybe in your experience.
No, with drones there is.
No, yeah, with drones. I'm talking about UFOs.
Oh yeah, no, they're always silent.
Right.
Yeah.
And not only are they silent, bro. So many people have reported, and ever since I heard this, it made me realize I experienced the same thing. It's that not only are they giving off no sound, there is no sound around you, bro. Like, it completely levels out everything else because it almost wants you to focus on it or something.
Or is it that, well, I don't know.
Your wife's
maybe
trying
once
to
you
talk
pick
to
it up,
you.
everything else tunes out because you hyper focus on it. Maybe it's doing that. Maybe your brain's doing it. I hear you, man.
When your wife's trying to talk to you and you're like trying to watch TV and she's like, you don't even fucking listen to anything I say anymore. And you're like, what are you talking about?
Right.
And she takes the remote and she mutes it so that she can talk with you.
Lord have mercy.
She wants to mute everything around you so that she has your undivided attention, right?
But if that was the case, that would mean that they want us to notice them.
That's what I'm saying. I think they do. I think they do, bro. Why would they make themselves so noticeably, obvious to a lot of people?
I don't know. But I'm with you on that, though. And, you're right. Because these things that people keep saying they're drones. Now, granted, there is some footage of these flying crafts that are way off into the distance. And even if it was a fucking fighter jet, you wouldn't hear the thing roaring. You know what I mean? Because it's way off in the distance. But there's also a lot of them that are close enough that, yeah, if that was a drone, you'd be able to hear it. Dude, I watched so much combat footage of what's going down in Ukraine right now. The drones are what is helping win and lose this war on every front. They use that for intelligence. They use that for dropping grenades on guys. It's for everything.
Wow.
And the entire time you're on the ground doing patrol, you're listening for the fucking ring. in the sky, and then you
Yeah.
also have a sniper team whose whole job is to shoot down these drones. It's fucking wild, bro.
That is pretty nuts, dude, to have that kind of
They
job.
make zipping noises.
Yeah.
You can hear like the motors zipping. I didn't hear that at all. I just saw it fly up over top the vehicle slowly.
Yeah.
Like it almost like it was gliding.
What was your next couple of days like after that? I know a lot of people say that whenever they experience any kind of UFO, that their next couple of days are just really like weird or thrown off in some kind of way.
Yeah, so after that I didn't feel weird or anything like that, but I noticed lights in the sky around my house. Like it it just looked like a bunch of flashlights in the woods behind my house. And apparently a lot of people witnessed that around the same time, and the official story was that it was SpaceX sending satellites to space, but it was way too low to the ground. It was in the trees. There was no way that it was in the sky because it was way too low to the ground. It's like maybe 5 feet to the ground. It's a dense forest. There's no way anyone could fly anything through there. So I don't know what the lights were. And then the last one I saw, I was taking my daughter back to her mom's, and I have a Baofeng radio, which is like a VHF radio.
Yeah.
So you can communicate with people. A lot of
It's like a CB radio.
big rigs track. Yeah, not exactly, but it's a different frequency, but it's the same thing.
Okay.
And I just had that in my car all the time for police and stuff.
Got you.
And we were getting ready to go up the mountain, and I swear I heard a little kid talking into it and saying help. And then I looked up and I saw this big light. It looked like kind of like the sun, but it was too small and the sun was behind me.
Mm.
Yeah, it was super, super bright. So I could focus on, and
so what was it?
I had to look back down.
So as soon as you heard help, it like you just looked up and that's when you saw it?
Yeah.
I mean, you were driving, bro. Did you wreck?
No, I looked up for maybe 5 seconds, but it was like so magnificent I couldn't stop looking at it, you know?
Yes.
Like you don't see lights like that in the sky in the middle of the day that bright.
Wow.
There's something to be said for that. And I love how you keep on saying, like, you live in the woods, bro. And, like, a lot of UFO sightings are not really in the city. Like, you're not going to see a lot of UFO shit like that.
You living in PA, do you live across that latitudinal line that, like, all the UFO sightings are seeing? What's it called? The, not the 38th parallel. What the fuck's it called?
33rd, 32nd?
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah, we gone over that before. Are you talking about on the same like line as the White House and all that shit?
It's a line that if you track the UFO
like
sightings,
the ley lines.
Yeah. If you track how many UFO sightings there's been across America's history, it's like this line in particular across this whole continent has so many more than anywhere else.
Maybe that's where the veil's at its thinnest.
That's
I'm
the
not
idea.
sure.
Okay.
I mean, that would make sense considering all the other things I've seen on top of potential UFOs.
See, this is why we need somebody with like Google just click, 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 and like could have that up for us.
We do need a Jamie.
we need a person.
Need a young Jamie.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at researching.
No doubt.
Well, yeah, dude. I'm all the way here for this kind of shit. What is it in your mind? So you're talking about your UFO experiences. They don't seem to really be that negative. Why are you thinking that they could be in the same category as a demon then?
Well, I want to say that, like he said earlier, some people say that demons can be either good or bad. I don't think the UFOs that look like your traditional UFO or anything like that, but the ones that were orbs that are like big balls of light, I don't know how else to explain them. they don't seem like they could potentially be a vehicle or anything. So it could be some kind of spirit or something.
Okay, fair.
It's possible, dude. And you know why I think that's possible is because I feel like I've probably talked about this before, but I had a past life regression done to me. The very first time I ever had it done to me, I had this crazy experience to where I had like this it was a past life, and I was like legit finding all of these crystals and certain kind of weird rocks and shit. And I figured out a way. I figured out like what they did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like their powers or some
Yeah.
shit. And I was able to like make like a UFO ship, right? And I remember getting in that bitch and I'm fucking driving it, but there's no steering wheel, there's no gas, like there's no brake,
You're
there's
driving it with your mind.
It's mind. You're literally driving it with your mind.
You know,
it's almost like an Avatar. You know, they take their tails
Yeah.
and it's like
not their tail, dude. Their ponytail.
ponytail, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of that feeling. So maybe, dude. I mean, I'm somebody I put a lot of. I believe in past life regressions. Like I believe whenever I can't say that I believe everybody's, but I
Right.
can definitely believe mine
But why?
because you feel like if you're a grounded person, or at least grounded enough.
I was say, would you call yourself grounded?
I'm grounded enough
Okay.
to not like I know the difference between what's real and what's not.
Do you?
I feel like I do.
Okay, because you question that a lot.
I question that in some aspects.
Okay.
But
all
like
right.
I know if I'm being fooled kind of
Okay.
deal.
I'm with you.
And
You have your wits about you.
Yeah.
All right.
I would say there's a little bit of wisdom that comes with this with this beautiful meat suit.
I would think so. And at least I hope you would have gained some with your time on this earth.
That's the whole point of this whole trip.
Agreed.
But yeah, dude, I don't know. I feel like I definitely believe, at least my experience, that I was visiting a past life. Maybe I was looking through some kind of mirror dimension and I was visually watching it. I don't know, but I know that it wasn't a made up story. I know that.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I would like go as far as to say that the aliens, whatever you want to call them, extraterrestrials, I don't know where the fuck they come from. Well, let's just say not here. I think that they would have some kind of technology to be able to zoom in and out of dimensions, right?
Right. Okay. And that's the thing too. And that would also agree with the whole firmament idea, is that we would then at that time assume that the extraterrestrials in question have the ability to bend space and time, i.e. go through portals like that. And that could obviously go through our firmament, no problem, if we indeed have one.
You know,
so that makes sense.
So I've said this before. I'll say it again. I've talked about the stars, about how I don't think that they're billions and trillions of miles away.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I actually believe they are? I think that now that I've put like a lot more thought into this,
Okay.
I think that they're legit like fucking portals. Have you ever sun gazed before? Have you ever looked right at the sun?
No, because they literally tell you not to, you fucking retard. What are you talking about?
I'm saying in the morning.
No.
In the morning time, you can do it. It won't hurt your eyes. And at dawn.
That's true.
It's actually really good for you on some real shit.
What?
Yeah, dude. I did a whole episode about it.
No, I know at dusk and dawn you can look through it because you're looking through, I think it's like 6 feet of dirt and 2 feet of water. Or no, 6 feet of water and 2 feet of dirt that you're actually like looking through over the horizon.
If that's something that big science said, then I'm going to probably like not believe it.
No, it makes sense. Think of all the dust particles in the air and all the
Sure.
humidity in the air. When the sun is at that level, you're looking across, even by your flat earth model, you're
Yeah.
looking across that much shit, air particles that's blocking that much of its rays to where, yeah, you could look at it.
Anyhow,
I thought you meant like at high noon. I'm sorry.
No, that's probably not good for you.
That's why I was like, no, why would you do that? I'm sorry.
No.
I'm
Like you're supposed to
misunderstood.
do it like as the sun going down or as it's coming up.
Okay.
Whatever.
All right.
But anyway, whenever you stare into this fucking thing, if you stare at it long enough, like if you make a point, I'm going to stare at this sun until something happens. Just say that. Just say, I'll stare at it for a minute. It's not going to hurt your eyes early in the morning.
Right.
You'll literally see it looks like a fucking time warp loop is going on inside of that thing. It doesn't look like fiery balls or whatever. Like it looks like like a legit fucking portal if you stare at it for long enough. Because then you'll start to see that, like, it's not as bright as you think it is.
Because you're looking through 2 feet of dirt and 6 feet of water.
That's not what I mean. Okay. What I mean is, like, I think that it's not anything. I don't know. I think it's a portal. I'm just going to say, I'm going to leave it at that.
So by what you're saying, you believe that it's possible for a spaceship or a rocket of some type to time itself so perfectly that it could shoot straight into the sun and portal itself out?
I mean, dude, we've seen like some kind of spaceships or something. Have you ever seen those videos of like these little spaceships, people zoomed all the way in on their camera at the moon? And you can see little shit going in and out of them, bro.
With that, and I don't want to sound like the skeptic naysayer, but please understand that they're probably using their cell phone?
No. I mean, I don't know if you can zoom in that far on a cell phone.
Maybe, but is it also possible it had like a bug on the lens?
Let's just say that no, it definitely not.
Okay. I don't know the video, so I can't say if it, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that,
if I'm grasping at straws here or not, I don't know. I got to see the context.
That's really why I don't think that any planets are physical bodies at all.
Even though it's backed by science. You just don't believe it because it's science?
So, do you believe that we've ever been to the moon?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I don't believe that first time was. I believe that was a giant, elaborate ploy to bankrupt the Soviet Union, and it definitely played a major role in it. But since then, have we been? Sure. Have we gone back in a very long time? No. Why? Because it's a fucking dust planet. There's nothing there. There's nothing that we need there.
That's what they want you to think.
Now, there's a lot of conspiracies around what the moon actually is. What's on the dark side of the moon? There's all of that controversy, and I'm not going to say what I believe on that one way or another because there's so much that you could look at and a lot of different rabbit holes to go down.
Yeah.
But I believe, yes, we have been to the moon, and if I'm not mistaken, they're actually launching a mission here soon to go back to it.
Oh, I can't wait to watch that fake-ass footage.
Right? Oh, I can't wait to dissect it. You know we're going to have a whole series
That's
going.
the thing. Like, you're open to dissecting it, but you believe that it happened. Or that it's still happening.
Yeah.
What do you think? Just the footage is fake, but we're actually going?
Oh, no. Okay, the first moon landing? Or are you talking about currently?
All of them.
Okay, like, do I believe the International Space Station is up there right now and the people up there are actually up there working? Do I believe that? Yes. Obviously.
I don't believe that bullshit either.
You could watch their live feeds right now.
I mean, it don't take much for a fucking green screen.
Okay. And that's fine. I understand why people would think that that's fake. I believe that yes, that's true.
What do you think about the planets and shit like that? I mean, do you think that they're real physical bodies? Where do you think, and after you answer that one, like, what are your spiritual beliefs?
They could potentially just be light reflection, but I don't know what the light would be reflecting off of, so I can't really say. I have looked into the flat earth theory. I don't know exactly what to think on that.
You and your people, I swear to God.
No, as far as you were talking about sun gazing, I have done that. And it's made me feel better. I used to have to wear glasses all the time, and after I did that, it stopped. As far as my beliefs, so I wouldn't say religious because I grew up in a religious household towards the beginning of my life, and seeing how some people were treated or shunned because maybe they were born out of wedlock or something like that. I don't really go to church or anything like that, but I do believe in Christianity to a point. I would say more like Greek Orthodox, perhaps.
Really? Now, that's interesting. I do want to ask you about this because it sounds to me like you believe in Christianity, not churchianity.
Exactly.
But then you say more Greek Orthodox, which is a very churchianity. That's second cousins to Catholicism, whether they want to admit that or not. And to all of our Eastern Orthodox listeners, I am not saying y'all are the same. I know there are distinct differences, but I am going to say, as an outside objective looker, yeah, y'all share a lot of similarities. Gonna just throw that out.
Well, I'm not saying that I practice and go, but like a lot of their belief system, as far as like, I used to have a lot of stuff happen with me and my daughter. Like when she was a little kid, she was in the living room and it looked like someone grabbed a chair and pushed it up so it smacked her in the face. I was standing there watching it, and weird stuff would happen to her, and she'd say people would talk to her and stuff like that in the house, and there's no one here other than us. And I started looking into Greek Orthodox, and I did some stuff that one of my friends told me. She said to get prayer rope bracelets and stuff like that. And after I did that, none of that stuff happened again. And it was happening for like 3-4 years.
Wow.
Constantly.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say I go to church or anything like that, but I look more into their doctrine and stuff like that.
Okay. Heard that.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think that it's good to believe in something. Like, there's nothing. I feel like there'd just be nothing worse than being an atheist.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel bad for atheists on some shit, bro.
They have to just be so depressed, and it's like, well, it doesn't fucking matter, so,
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
But then I guess there's also a level of freedom that comes with that. A level of, if it's all fucked anyway, why care? So you can just do as you will. But I just... That makes no sense. I'm sorry. This is way too complex for this to all be some crazy accident that popped up out of nothing. I'm sorry. There's no way.
Yeah, there's some rhyme or reason to it. Well, I guess Spectre Exploration. I love that name, by the way.
Yeah.
I guess, what do you think about everything right now? Like, as far as everything that you've experienced, has it changed your mind for the better, for the worse? Are you constantly like looking out for this kind of shit now? Do you feel like you're kind of like awakened to this in some form or fashion?
Well, I've had a lot of bad experiences in the past because me and my friends would try to go ghost hunting and stuff. And
oh, word?
So I had a lot of bad experiences with that, so I don't try to look for it necessarily, but I do, keep my eyes open and try to do research if something does happen and see what it is.
I'm telling you, man, when you open up to certain things, when you know what I'm saying, when you open the door, something will answer, and it's not always going to be a good thing that answers you.
Hold up, y'all be playing with some Ouija boards?
No, but it's the same concept, right? It's the same concept. You're opening a portal with the Ouija board, but with this, he's out seeking them. He is opening himself to them.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you may find good things. It's very possible. But there is one side of the force that is clamoring to get out. And when you seek it out or when you open the door to it, it will answer. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I don't know how long you guys want to do this, but I
think we're about getting ready to wrap up, honestly.
Yeah, we usually go about an hour. Sometimes a little bit more than that, but I mean, hey, dude, I'm sure there's plenty more to go along with all the experiences that you've had, man. I mean, because you're somebody, you seem very, very into this stuff, and for somebody that's that has a channel going and trying to get the word out a little bit more, whether it be on TikTok or Instagram or anything like that, then you obviously have a set belief system of sorts. Like, you've seen these things, you've witnessed these things, and now you're just trying to get it out and maybe dig for a little bit more research. And that's the beautiful thing about all this stuff, is that, we put out this information as far as everything conspiracy, everything spirituality. We put it out because, we feel like, the cult members want to hear it.
Right.
But it's also I love it because we are able to do a lot of research that we normally wouldn't. And so you really get like very soaked in this. Like you're just diving into a pool and you're just dripping wet because, hey, dude, you wanted to dive into fucking deep end.
Yeah, man.
And so, hey, man, thank you so much for coming on. Anybody that wants to go find you, where can they find you at?
So, for the most part, I would say on TikTok, I have Spectre Exploration as my channel. SPECTREEXPLORATION.
Excellent, man.
I'll send you guys the information. So if you actually put in description.
Absolutely,
so
bro.
People can actually figure it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
I'll definitely put that in the description down below. So anybody that is interested in going to check it out, you'll see it in the description box below, whether you're on Spotify or Apple, or probably any of the other ones. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your stories. And I mean, it's just a bunch of wild, crazy shit. We live in a very crazy world, and we're never going to know all of it, but it's fun looking for it.
Yeah.
And hearing about it and knowing that there is something definitely going on beyond, what we can imagine.
Yeah.
And so thank you, man, for so much for coming on. This was a fantastic show. Jacob, any parting words for you, sir?
Nah, brother, I appreciate you coming on. Love the stories and love the can't speak. Genuinely great conversation.
Hell yeah, dude. We'll do it again. I mean, maybe you got some more shit that you want to cover. We're here for it all the time. But anyhow, until next time, this was another beautiful episode of The Cult of Conspiracy, and my name's Jonathan.
I'm Jacob.
And there's one very important, extremely vital thing we need you to do just as soon as humanly possible. Open up that third eye.
Hey, cult members, Jacob here. Just want to ask, who wants better sex? The best way to get started is to go to adamandeve.com right now. Adam and Eve is offering 50% off just about any item, but that's not all. When you get one item, they will also send 3 bonus sexy items and 6 free movies. They offer discreet shipping as your privacy is a priority, plus free shipping on your entire order. Doesn't matter how much you spend or what you buy. All will be packaged and sent discreetly for free. That's 50% off one item and 10 free gifts to boot. Bring more pleasure and satisfaction into your bedroom. Just go to adamandeve.com and select any one item. It could be an adventurous new toy or anything you desire. Just enter the offer code CULT at checkout and you'll get 50% off almost any item, plus 10 free gifts, 3 bonus items, 6 free movies, and free shipping. Use the offer code CULT, that's C-U-L-T, at adamandeve.com. Now, this is an exclusive offer specific to this podcast, so be sure to use this code to get you not just the discount and the free goodies, but also the 100% free shipping with the code CULT.